Siberius, and we about to get serious. It's the real Siberius, making fanboys furious.
Hello YouTube and welcome to The Real Siberius. In this episode, I wanted to talk about 10 more problems with the modern NBA. Let's get into it. Alright, so I recently made a video with my top 10 problems with the modern NBA, and it seems people seem to like it. So I was thinking about it more and more, and I came up with 10 more problems with the modern NBA. First, self-aggrandizing. What does that mean? It means talking yourself up, trying to prop up the era that you're in, trying to prop up yourself, and even trying to prop other people up just so they look better than previous players or past eras. Like when LeBron was talking about Giannis scoring 250 points in the 70s. I don't think anything made me want to punch someone in the face more. Number 12, tearing down past eras. I can't tell you how often I hear this when they talk about, they only played plumbers in the 80s, the whole done with the 90s movement. Everyone sucked. What did Anthony Edwards say? That Jordan was the only one with talent in the 80s and 90s? Like, people that have absolutely no idea what the hell they're talking about and have no idea of the history of the game that they play, and they're constantly tearing it down. It just doesn't make any sense to me. 13, more about the brand than the game. Everybody's concerned with their image, with their social media brand, with their name brand, more than they care about playing the game, developing their game, winning the game. I don't understand it. It's definitely a big problem, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. 14 is rules. The rules of the NBA have not changed. Traveling is the same. Setting screens is the same. Yet the calls are entirely different. If the players today tried to do what they do in the 80s and 90s, they would be fouled out of the game in the first quarter. Between offensive fouls, travels, assists that, quite frankly, are passes. I don't even understand the rules anymore. If you look at the NBA official rule book, everything is exactly the same. Nothing has changed. But watching the game, it's an entirely different game. You can get away with almost anything now, except for touching. You can't touch anyone. If you breathe on somebody, it's considered a foul now. It just doesn't make any sense. Number 15, ratings. If you listen to Mind the Game podcast or Gil's Arenas or anything like that, this is the best the NBA has ever been, according to them. The players are bigger, stronger, faster, more talented. I think it was KD that said in the 80s and 90s they were walking up and down the court. There's a lot more running today. And first of all of those are just blatant lies. But I think ratings reflects quality. And the highest the NBA ratings ever were was the finals with the Jazz and the Bulls in 1998. They've never surpassed that, and quite frankly, they've just continued to plummet. I believe that the 2020 finals were one of the lowest rated NBA finals in NBA history, and everyone was in fucking lockdown. They didn't have anywhere to go or anything to do, and still nobody watched because nobody cared. I mean, I hate to say it because I love basketball. I love, or I should say loved, the NBA. I don't love it anymore. In fact, I barely watch it. But the ratings reflect that. People aren't interested, and they try to make excuses of, with all of the different streaming platforms, and, it's so much more difficult to monitor the ratings because people are watching it on different platforms. There may be a small amount of truth in that, as far as how to monitor it. I don't know anybody that watches. I know a lot of basketball fans. I pay attention to a lot of content creators that focus on NBA. None of them watch because most of them don't care. And it's just as simple as that. Number 16 is false narratives. There are so many false narratives. I mean, Giannis scoring 250 points in the 70s is a false narrative. LeBron not having any help is a false narrative. There's just countless false narratives, and I don't think that's going to stop either. 17 turncoats. What do I mean by turncoats? Steve Nash is a perfect example of a turncoat. Somebody that actually played in the NBA when it was actually sports, when there was competition, when there was defense, and he has absolutely flipped and is now saying that this is the best that the NBA has ever been, when he has to know it's a joke. Another turncoat is Draymond Green. He used to say that Jordan was the GOAT, and then he obviously got on Clutch Sports payroll and all of a sudden immediately changed his mind. You just see that all over the place. People that used to say one thing and now they say another because they're clearly on the payroll. Number 18, three-pointers. It's absolutely ridiculous how many three-pointers have been shot in single games. I think the Timberwolves shot 55 or 60 three-pointers in one game and made 15, which means they missed 45. Teams love to live and die by the three, and I also think the three-point shot has a lot to do with ratings. Nobody wants to see two teams essentially having a three-point contest and doing a piss-poor job at it. I mean, even if you were making all of the three-pointers, that's still boring as hell. But then to miss them, I was going to say bricks are funny, but they're not that funny, and they're not that entertaining. Number 19, no defense. There's just absolutely no defense. I personally believe that the downfall of the NBA was when they got rid of hand checking and added the 3-second rule. It just, I understand that they wanted to promote scoring. Scoring makes the game interesting. It only makes the game interesting to a level. I think scoring is interesting when you're challenged to score. Part of what made Jordan so exciting to watch is the defense was insane and he still was able to score. They still couldn't stop him. Even the Pistons, who were kicking the shit out of him, couldn't stop him. I mean, once he got a little bit of help. One man can't win a basketball game. They can certainly affect the outcome of the game, but one man can't win it alone. So once he got a little bit of help, he blew right past him. I mean, they went from beating him playoff series in the first round twice, back-to-back years, 89 and 90. And then when they came back in 91, they swept them. It just goes to show he just needed a little bit of help. Number 20, and this one is probably one of the biggest to me, is the loser mentality. When someone who many consider the GOAT says that he doesn't lose sleep when he loses, that disgusts me. I never played in the NBA, but I played sports. I played baseball. I played basketball. And even at that low level, I can't let losses go. Maybe it's because I'm a competitor. Maybe it's because I hate losing. But whatever it is, I can't get over it. I remember Steve Kerr, after he missed a shot in one of the games in, I think it was 97, and he was beating himself up. Steve Kerr's wife told Michael Jordan about it. He essentially was inconsolable. He was just laying in bed with his face in the pillow because he had missed a shot. And didn't necessarily lose them the game, but he was part of the reason why they lost, and he couldn't let it go. Ruined his day. That's how I feel when I lose. And I feel like that is gone. When Anthony Edwards lost in the playoffs this year. And he was like, oh, no, it feels fine. It's been fun. What the hell is fun about losing? I want people to get pissed. I want people to say, yeah, we lost. It's my fault. And I'm going to go do everything that it takes to work on my game, to motivate my team, so we come back next year and we don't lose. How many times have I heard people say activate playoff mode? There is no playoff mode. And if there is, you need to be in playoff mode all the time. In the regular season, in the playoffs, I just don't get it. I feel like this is the weakest era that the NBA has ever seen. I mean, I've been watching the NBA since 1984. I've seen many teams. I've seen many different eras. I've seen many different greats. And I personally don't feel like there are any greats anymore. I think since Kobe retired and then unfortunately passed away, that mentality is gone. And I'm not entirely sure or convinced that we're ever going to get it back. Nobody wants to fight anymore. Nobody wants to win anymore. I mean, part of this goes into my top 10 problems in the modern NBA video with guaranteed contracts. If you know that you're going to make your money if you don't play, like a perfect example is Joel Embiid. I don't think he's ever played more than 65 games in his 10-year career, and he's made almost $500 million. How is that possible? I don't understand. And then people respect these players and want to call them better than people in past eras. Maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe it's because I have grit, but I can't respect any of these players. Even though I respect some of their game, you're still playing in an era without defense. So how much can I respect you for that? It's not their fault. I don't blame them. I mean, you can't dictate the rules of the game in the era that you're playing in. However, actually that I'm not entirely sure about. I think I even mentioned that in my previous video, that if the players really wanted to, with all of the player empowerment that they have, they could demand that they bring back 80s and 90s rules and say, you know what, we're going to go on strike. If you don't bring back hand checking and get rid of the 3-second rule and start calling these travels and start making assists instead of passes assists, we're not going to play. We want to play on the exact same level with the exact same standards of the eras before us, so we can prove that we can play at that level. Again, they're not going to, because they know that they can't. They're all too soft. They're not willing to put in the work. Kobe said once, after losing, I'm going to get in the gym and I'm going to work till I'm exhausted. That's not a thing. That doesn't exist anymore. Mama mentality is dead, which is why all of these fools have started talking about Kobe because he's gone. Because if he was here, I guarantee they wouldn't be saying that shit. And next year, when Jordan comes back and is in the NBA, obviously not playing, but is in the organization and is a part of it, I think a lot of things are going to change. A lot of people have a lot of balls when you can say something to somebody's back, but when you have to say it to their face and you have to say it to the GOAT, people can say whatever the hell they want about who they think the GOAT is until Michael Jordan walks in the room, and then all of that shit goes out the window. That's just the way that it is. I don't know. I don't know where the NBA is headed. I hope that after LeBron retires, which will hopefully be at the end of next season, maybe we have 2 more years left. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's too long. He should have retired 10 years ago. I mean, he'd still be a joke, but maybe he wouldn't have done as much damage as he's done to whatever manufactured legacy that he has. Anyway, I would love to hear what you guys say in the comments. I think this is my 8th video now, and no one has left a comment. So if you're up for it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, I want to give a shout out to the content creators that have inspired me to create this channel. Uncommon Sense, Angry Old Hoops, Self-Researched NBA Facts, 93Z, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Scap Attack, The Basketball Show, Speam Engine, In Your Face Hoops. And just recently, I found Eddie TV, another fantastic channel. If you're not familiar with it, you should absolutely check it out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.